there's a code word that we use when you're talking too much, and we're just gonna say, "Shut up." No, I'm kidding. It's mayonnaise.
Squiggly Rogers, the squiggler. You gotta know when to squiggle.
We're recording.
We've been recording.
Are you tired of
that?
it?
Life is one big recording.
Hey everyone, and welcome to The Inside, a podcast where we get into the extraordinary minds and experiences of everyday people. I'm Jay, and with me, as always, unfortunately, is Adam.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
Well, it was better before this started up.
I'm just making sure you're paying attention.
It's been pretty good. You know, practicing guitar, practicing my lightsaber moves.
On your guitar?
Yeah.
Do you have like a lightsaber built into your guitar neck?
Yeah, I'm that geeky. Anyway, what about you? Let's change the subject. What about you?
Nothing really that much fun. The thing that's been on my mind the most lately is been having some plantar fasciitis.
Whoa!
And
dude,
so what?
Dude,
what?
It's pronounced planting face slices. I know this. I've seen it before. You moron.
You saw that at the medicinal pizza eating contest, right? Like that's
no.
Planting face slices. Come on.
What is it? Say it again.
It's plantar fasciitis. Fasciitis, not face slices.
All right. Well, I might have butchered it a little bit. But what exactly is it then?
Well, it's an inflammation of the fascia, which is kind of the connective tissue on the bottom of your foot. It's in the arch of your foot. Okay. Well, let me simplify this for you. Pain, bottom, foot.
Ooh. Well, what are you going to do to fix that? Cut off your foot?
Yeah.
Cry about it?
Done. God, you know me too well. Actually, I've been going to physical therapy. Got some stretches and exercises.
That's made up.
And that part's not. But the next part I wish was because he wanted to do some dry needling on my foot.
Oh God, no, stop. That sounds terrible.
I know.
That sounds like some crap out of a Bond movie. Like, we have ways of making you tuck, Mr. Hinton, with the dry needle.
ways of making you talk. So that's like the PT version of that is we have ways of making you walk. Get it? Walk. All right. Anyway, I thought it sounded terrible too, but it didn't hurt that much.
I mean, dude, I don't know. Like, dry needled? I want some lube on that thing. Like, lube me up, doc. Like, wet needle me, lube needle me, whatever it's called. Just something that's not dry needle.
You would.
A wet needler, folks.
Well, it's when the needles go in, it's kind of like acupuncture, but then it also has some electrical stimulus in there, which, believe it or not, feels pretty good.
So it's basically putting a car battery on your toes, ladies and gentlemen.
It's hooking a needle to a car battery to your toes.
Oh, sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, the name, I was wondering about the dry part of that too, is they used these needles in a trial where they were injecting medicine into people. And as the placebo, they used a dry needle, finger quotes, where they weren't injecting any medicine. But what they found out was the needle, the dry needle, was also having a really positive effect on the people. I don't remember exactly what they were studying.
Well,
so
it's
a terrible name.
All sounds terrible. Yeah, it all sounds terrible. But in the end, I'm just glad it worked for you, man.
It is. I got one more session to go, and it's been actually giving me the most results. Like, my foot pretty much does not hurt at all now.
Well, yeah, congratulations, whatever.
Thank you.
But Jay, that whole thing made me think of this lady I know, Ashleigh.
Why? Like, does she have a bunch of needles hanging out of her body?
No, she does not. But she had a procedure.
Is she hooked up to a car battery?
No. She had a procedure that sounds way worse than any car battery, wet needle lube thing we could think of. She had to get an artificial disc inserted into her spine. No, she didn't.
Nobody gets that's James Bond crap.
No, she's a Terminator. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. More machine than woman now with the artificial disc.
You had to work the Terminator in there, didn't you?
I always try. But yeah, she had an artificial disc put in her back, and it was a really big story. And she has a lot of other stuff.
Next, you'll be telling me like even like a magazine picked it up or something.
Yeah. Well, she did get picked up by a magazine about it.
Oh, okay. So let me guess. She's our guest for
Yeah.
today?
It's
Of
isn't
course.
it crazy how
Yeah.
it always works out like that somehow? It's crazy, isn't it?
Who writes this stuff?
I don't know. We need to fire someone. Anyway, well, how about this? Let's take a break. I'm going to go climb Mount Everest, and then we'll have our fake commercial.
Whoa. You mean a message from our sponsor?
Yeah. Sorry. Sponsorship, and then we'll talk to her and see what she has to say. Sound good?
I love it.
Hey, J-Man. What's going on today?
Adam, hey, what's
Hey.
up? I'm just kind of, I'm dragging it, dragging bottom, dragging it
Why?
hard.
What's wrong?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that's different is like I don't really know how much coffee I've had today
Well,
because,
how
yeah,
hard is it to keep track of how many cups of coffee you've had?
I don't know. I quit paying attention to it because I've been using a bloop,
What?
and the bloop. Well,
What
you
is
don't.
that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Please enlighten me.
Well, a bloop is like it's a watch that, amongst other things, like I can track stuff on it, like my running,
Okay.
like how far I drive, like how many kittens I pet in a day, and I track like how much coffee I drink. It like does it does it automatically, and that's why I don't know how much I've
Okay.
had today. Okay, so
Well, like, I don't drink coffee, but there's other stuff I'd like to track. Like, what else can you track with it?
actually, Adam, the tracking menu is endless. Like
Endless, infinite tracking ability?
I know. I didn't believe it either. But like, it's true. Like you can put anything into the bloop that you want to track. And so like anything, like you want to track how many times you blink in a day. Bloop is
Right,
there.
because, like,
for you.
I don't know how many times I blink a day, and that's some information I'd really need to know.
You might. I mean, you're in college.
Exactly.
You never know what you might need. Like how many farts you let fly. Like if you're on a date or something.
Right, I need to
you're
make sure
trying
I'm not letting any squeakers out or anything
right.
like that.
Exactly. I mean, bloop does that for you. And
Thanks,
like
Bloop.
Like if you had a back surgery and you had an artificial disc in your back and you want to know like is it still squishy enough and stuff, like Bloop has your back. Like
Literally.
yeah,
Doesn't sound like there's anything Bloop can't do.
It's so true, Adam.
Well, you should get your free Bloop today right off our Instagram. Use the promo code INSIDEBLOOP to get a free month of fart tracking when you sign up with Bloop.
Or other tracking.
Exactly.
That's so gross, man. Who
What?
fart tracking? Who does that?
I just, it's what the teleprompter says. I'm just reading the text, man.
Well, who wrote this stuff? Well, hi, Ashleigh.
Hi.
What's
Hey.
up?
Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Not as excited as we are. Well, we want to hear all about your incredible back surgery and your experiences as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and about being a TV news anchor. But first, just want to hear a little bit about who you are and what makes you you.
Challenge accepted. Okay, so I am from Las Vegas, Nevada. I grew up, born and raised in Las Vegas. I am the oldest of four in my family. I love my role as a big sister. Sometimes I take it too serious, but that's me. I have my parents are, I don't know, they're super fun. They just have raised us to just love life and just pursue our passions and enjoy life, you know.
Where did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to school in Los Angeles, so 4 hours away. And I went to USC. I know you guys are North Carolina, and so it's probably University of South Carolina to
That's
you,
right.
but on the West Coast, it's University of Southern California. So I went there. I studied business. I had a great experience. It wasn't where I thought I'd go, but I was really excited to be able to go to California and live there. And experience and just be around really cool professors. So.
Well, that's another place I haven't. I'm afraid. I feel afraid to go to Los Angeles. I don't know why. I just feel like something. It's just so massive. Like I flew out of there one time, and just like it was at nighttime, and it's such a sprawl. Like it just kept going and going and going. Like this is like the world's biggest city. It was crazy.
It was crazy. Well, and like when I first went there to visit and to like look at schools, I was like, there's no way I'll go to USC. It's in like a really bad part of LA. And I loved it when I got to that campus, but it's changed a lot now, but it was pretty dangerous when I was there. If you make a wrong turn, I was like telling my parents, you're going to drop me off here.
Right.
This is scary. But it was, I just had to be careful.
We only have like 8 traffic lights in our whole town, so that gives you some perspective here. But you study business. What did you plan to do with that?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure. I kind of went to school knowing I wanted to study business. My dad kind of pushed me in that direction. And when I got there and studying all the different things, I was really excited and interested in investments. And so I took a class of investments and finances, and I wanted to work as like a financial analyst. But I was kind of thinking about it and thinking about, the skills that I wanted to continue to develop. And I just knew I would be in an office, and I didn't want to stay in an office. I kind of wanted to do other things. And so it led me to, in like a roundabout way, teaching. So I teach business electives, and I'm able to use like public speaking skills and communication skills and kind of things I more wanted to develop rather than the other. And I knew it was going to be like 80 hours of work a week. And I just it wasn't something I wanted, like a balance of life. And so teaching kind of gives me more of what I was looking for.
One thing you mentioned before we got on here was that you had a really unexpected internship towards the end of your college career. What was that all about?
So I was on campus at USC and doing like a resume fair, like a career fair type of thing. And I went, and it was my last semester. I was a senior, and I gave my resume to someone. I didn't know who they were, and they just kind of reviewed it, and we got to talking, and she turned out to be an executive at ABC. And I was like, I'm just going to ask, do you have any internship opportunities or anything available? And, she had just seen my resume. So it was like a perfect opportunity. And she was like, actually, yes, we do. So we got her number. She got my number. We exchanged numbers. And she ended up putting me in the media relations department at ABC. It was in Burbank. ABC Studios, and it was
the big ABC Studios, right? Not like the little tiny.
Yeah, the real big one. So I got to meet a lot of people working in media relations. What I did for them, their sitcoms that were coming out at the time, I think it was like 8 Simple Rules. What I would do is read the scripts when they would come in, and then I would pick teasers, like, how can we promote this script? What is like something funny about this that we can pull and show to say, oh, this is what's upcoming in the episode. So I really learned a lot about marketing while doing that, internship, and also the, not so glamour or not so honest side of marketing with public relations that I didn't really like about it. So also, I feel like I've had so many jobs.
Everybody. ABC is dishonest.
Yeah. Don't trust them.
Not quite that way, but like how they have to spin everything, it's like, okay, let's think about this rather than this is really what it is, which like there's a purpose and a reason for it, but it's just kind of like, you step back and think, what are people telling me on TV? Is that really what it is or what it isn't?
I'm sure they spin it a little bit.
The spin zone. So it was a really great experience, but also something like I learned about myself that I was like, I probably wouldn't enjoy doing that all day. So teacher, here I am.
Yeah. I want to ask you a little bit, about your faith. That plays a really big part in your life, right? Can we, are you comfortable talking about that?
Oh yeah, of course. Okay. Please.
Good. As mentioned earlier, you're a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, what do ladders have to do with Jesus? Is that your way? Is that how you get closer to Jesus? Like, it's like a stairway to heaven, right?
No,
I
you
love that.
idiot. No,
That's
it's not
a
that
good-
kind of ladder.
That's a good one. Yes,
Oh.
ladder with T's.
Oh, okay, there we go.
But that I do like that. Is that alliteration? I don't know. That's a good one.
Oh, you're the teacher.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Sometimes the words come to my mind and I'm like, I don't know if that's right, but I'm going with it.
It's I didn't know much about the church and the beliefs that are held within the church until we were preparing for this interview.
Me neither.
And I think we could spend an entire episode just talking about the church.
Yeah. I mean, many episodes.
Yeah. Well, and that's probably just like any organized religion,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. It takes a long time to digest. And
Yeah. I mean, I'm a United Methodist and I still don't get it.
You heard it here, guys. He is underqualified for his job.
I don't get it. What am I doing here?
I love that. That's the best way to explain it.
Just joking. Don't fire me. But anyway, we wanted to ask you specifically about the mission experience that young adults can have. Mm-hmm. And you participated in the, I'm just going to say LDS mission, just for abbreviation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that okay?
I did. Of course.
That's not offensive anyway.
No.
Okay, good. But so, and I'm not meaning for this to sound bad anyway, but I've mostly, where I've lived and been, I've mostly seen men having that experience or doing that, but never women until we learned that you had done that. And so I don't know if, is that something that not a lot of women do? Or
I think you're right in that. I think it's mainly men. It has changed. I'm seeing a lot more women going. And, you know, when I first was deciding to go, I was 23 and girls go when they're 21. And I was like, I'm way too old to go on a mission, you know, and it kind of stopped me from like pursuing it because of the age thing. So they've changed that now. Guys go at 19 or 18. And so I think girls go at 19. I think a lot more girls, at least what I'm seeing, are going now. And I think for me, it was like a great experience. It was hard, but it was, you know, something that I learned. You go with the intention of helping others and you are really the one that learns the most. So for me, like going when I was 23, it was like, just like kind of a college experience. It was a learning experience and a foundational experience for me and just kind of solidifying my faith.
So you pay for that personally too, right?
Yeah, it's all volunteer. It's, if you want to go and have that experience, you fill out an application, you, go through a series of interviews. There's a worthiness, and then you are assigned a specific location. So yeah, I was really excited, and I'm Italian, and I wanted to go to Italy, and that didn't happen. I was assigned to Cleveland, Ohio.
Ohio, Italy,
I think there's a lot
thing.
of Italian food in Cleveland.
Close. That's what my dad said. He's like, "Oh, there's a lot of Italians in Cleveland." I'm like, "Okay, well, does it snow there?" I had no idea. And my brothers, they both went on missions, not at the same time, but they were both called to Costa Rica, which is very rare that they go to the same location. But yeah, but it ended up being the right place for me, and it usually is. 9 months I was in the visitor center is what they call them, and I got to teach people what happened in those places, and really that's a lot of where I learned about my church history, or my church's history and how it began in the restoration process. So that was like why I say that's such a foundational point for me, because a lot of people kind of struggle with that. So,
Well, and also just think you wouldn't even be on this podcast today had you not gone to Cleveland because,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, you met
I
Mo.
know.
You met Mo, there, and we met you through Mo. So just
Love
add that
Mo.
to your other, your long list of bonuses of being in Cleveland.
From the mission. Yes. I mean, I did cry when I got the mission call, but I'm so glad it worked out. Everything positive from there. But yeah, I love
Everything
Mo.
positive.
I'm
Every
going to say
single
everything.
thing. There's
Everything.
no weird experiences. There's no like weird or scary anything going on.
I mean, if you knock doors, like think about it. There's going to be something strange that could happen. And like every time I think of like a weird experience like this always comes to my mind. My friend, I called her my friend. She was my companion at the time. We were just we would pray about neighborhoods to go to, and we went to this neighborhood, and I'll never forget the neighborhood. It was like a normal looking place, like kind of like condos. We knocked doors, and this guy answers one of the doors, and you just could see this like gloom in his like head or like behind him. And we like knock the door and we like answer. We're like, hi, we're from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We were out sharing a message. We'd love to share with you. And he looks at us and he's like, okay, come on in. And my companion
No,
and I look
thanks.
at each other. We're like, I think we'll just share from right here.
So
We'll just share from the doorstep.
a companion, that's like your roommate, travel buddy person.
Yeah, so that's also assigned, and there's like different locations everywhere, and so you get assigned a location, and then usually that companion will be there, and you kind of go there, and you like one will leave, and the next transfer time every 6 weeks, or we'll both leave together. So yeah, we're kind of like everyone assigned to the Cleveland, Ohio mission. You have the opportunity to be a companion with only of your same sex. So, yeah.
And I mean, I've seen we get a little ding dong at the door sometimes, and I think like, oh, like it's a group of Mormon people that are here. That something you told us before you get on that calling someone a Mormon is not really like not really a thing. Like, what's behind that?
So it's been for many, many years. It's been our nickname because of the Book of Mormon, and recently, our prophet Russell M. Nelson has kind of taught all of us that we are not to refer to ourselves as Mormons. And when I was on my mission, we had to be we were like, we represent the church, and so they told us that a long time ago. They're like, don't refer to yourself as a Mormon. I mean, we're the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so, it's good that that's kind of coming now because, we believe in Jesus and that's in our name. So it's kind of like a misconception, but it's okay.
Yeah, well,
still, if people call us Mormon.
I read this article that said if someone calls you a Mormon, they give you a license to kill.
Yeah, you know how Jesus was.
Yeah,
I don't really have that license, but
I thought it came standard issue on the mission.
No, we don't have that. It's one of those things where it's like, it's not a huge deal, but it's just something that we're trying to move away from, but it is like kind of associated with the Book of Mormon.
But like moving past the mission, obviously you did that and crushed it like we all knew you were gonna do.
Well, I don't know about that. I completed it.
But your whole life, and I'm guessing you still did this while you were on your mission, you've been like a competitive gymnast, just a general athletic person. You're into like running, CrossFit, healthy meals, but you ended up with a really severe back problem. What led to that? Was it a lifestyle thing or just a genetic thing?
I wish I had like the perfect answer because I get that question, and because people want to avoid back problems. Like I did. I was like, oh, I remember one of my friends had back surgery, and I was like, oh, I hope that never happens to me. And I'm like, oh, 2 back surgeries. Like I honestly don't know what it was. I think sometimes injuries just happen, and that's kind of what happened for me. I had a huge herniation, and it just caused, I have a pretty high pain tolerance, and I couldn't believe the amount of pain that I felt. It like brought tears to my eyes. So I had my first surgery, and that pain went away. So that was nerve pain. And because of the herniation of my disc, it was resting on all of these huge nerves, and my whole left leg, it took a year for it to fully heal where I could use it again. And the worst part about that surgery is that it was helpful, but it left me with another problem. It took out my full disc. Like that disc between the two vertebrae was gone. I lived without a disc for 5 years. And then I found something called an artificial disc.
Yeah.
And I did not want another surgery. I was like totally against it, 100%. But I was in so much pain, and it just got to the point where I just didn't want to do anything anymore, because that thought of doing something and bringing on extra pain to my body, like, made me just give up everything. I went to work and that was it. I came home and I laid on the ground. Like, I just gave up running. I did get a Peloton. I have a stationary bike and I hate spinning, but it was the only kind of exercise I could do that didn't hurt my body. So, yeah.
But there is a video of you on your YouTube using your Peloton, making it look like you really love it.
That's right. I think I've sold or I have a referral code, and I've sold 10 Peloton bikes.
Hey,
so, they're like, okay, well, it is fun, but it's not my favorite.
No, I gather that you're somebody who'd rather be outside when you can and stuff. So it's kind of a big deal though, right? It's not something where you can just go to any spine center and have it done.
I had to do a lot of testing, MRIs, before any doctor would even talk to me at the center that I found. So I got all of my paperwork together. I got the MRIs. I got the tests that they asked for. And then, I submitted all the paperwork to Texas Back Institute, and they have it's Center for Disc Replacements. And in my mind, they also added me to a Facebook group, and the stories that I was reading about, it was this is me. This is how I feel. In the back of my mind, I was like, I hope this works for me, but I can't put all my eggs in this basket. It was I might not be a candidate. It's just, they were, with all the numbers and everything, it's 25% of people are candidates. So I was I don't have a disc. And turns out I was oh my gosh, they called me and they were like, you're a candidate. We'd like to schedule you a consultation so you can come down and learn more. And it was tears, tears coming down my eyes. I was like, this can't be real. And then I still have more doubts, is this really going to fix, I'm so happy today, but it was a process. Right. So I went and I met, everything was seamless. I met the surgeon. And he told me, you're a perfect candidate. Don't worry about the things that have happened in the past. It happens. I had the microdiscectomy, surgery. He's like, you had the right surgery. You waited the right amount of time. And I said, how long? I asked him, how long is this disc going to last? And he's like, it'll last longer than you will. And I was like, okay. And he said, there'll be even better discs in the future, but this disc is phenomenal. This is a great opportunity.
It's so unique that you were interviewed by D Magazine?
I was, yes. D Magazine just recently. I can't believe it is my life that I had 2 back surgeries, and that, I've had a lot of recovery to get back to. I still don't feel like I can do as much workouts as I used to do, but I'm getting there, and it was really good to share that story with them. And, I feel like that's why I like to talk about it so much, because there's so many people that just suffer with back pain. Actually, this is kind of cool. One of my coworkers, after I had my back surgery, we got to talking, and he's like, I have really bad back problems, and I had a microdiscectomy like you. He's like, please, will you give me the information for your surgeon? And I'm like, absolutely. I give I talk to a lot of people and share. And just this last summer, he ended up he has 2 new discs now. Wow, so cool. It was just I was just so happy for him that it actually worked, like I said, not everybody's a candidate, but he was a candidate, and that could help him. And so that's really why I love to share. So I'm glad. I hope a lot of people are able to read that magazine article. It talks a lot about the center and what they can do, and, how valuable they are. So yeah.
Well, we'll definitely link that in the show notes. As you know, sometimes some good stuff comes out of something bad. And you mentioned that the back surgery played an integral part in your career life. And so how did that set you up to where you are now, and how you see things differently as far as career goes?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something good that comes out of all that pain. That's what I just didn't understand, is like, why am I feeling so much pain? Like, it was just a really big question for me. And, now looking back, I realize I pursued things that I wouldn't have pursued had I just not had this pain experience. So it was after my first surgery, I was working so hard to get back to my regular life, and it was hard. And I had so much pain getting back from my recovery. And I thought to myself, is this a life that I really want to get back to? This is hard. What am I working so hard for? And so it just kind of was I don't know, an epiphany, I guess. Like, I had this, what would I want to do? What else would I want to do? And that's where I kind of tried looking into other career fields. And, I mean, I to myself, I was like, dream big, like, you have this opportunity, this life, you have one life. You've seen not being able to do anything. Now you have this opportunity. What do you want to do with it? And I was a gymnast growing up. I loved gymnastics. It was like the first thing I really loved in my life. It was like, that's how I felt passion. So it was like this love that I've always had. And I thought I would love to, be like a gymnastics commentator. And so I kind of went through the steps of how do I do that? And, you're on TV. I don't have any TV experience. So I found this company that does journalism boot camps, and they made a reel for me. I went to New York City, and they made this, we did like all of these different stories, like a montage. And they were like, this is what you do. You send these out to local TV stations, like small markets, and you get your experience. And then you apply to be a commentator, like a sideline commentator for college gymnastics. I was scared I was so nervous. I did like the most annoying, like not annoying, but the most awkward montages. And I ended up sending them out. I still had my teaching job, and I ended up just sending them out and just seeing what would happen. And I had a few bites, but nothing really like, where I felt like I could leave my teaching job and kind of go into that. And, so I just kind of was like, well, I also like fashion. So I started my blog, ashleighdean.com. And I also won a 3-day styling event to learn from a celebrity stylist. And so that was also in New York. I went there, and I learned how to do that. And that's when I launched my blog. And it's kind of changed from when I first launched it to more now I share and kind of like share the clothes that I like, and I share fitness, and I also share my story about surgery, and I do a little bit of food. I've done a few like cooking videos with my dad.
I've seen them.
So it's like, it's just something fun. It's like a creative outlet that I really wouldn't have had if I didn't, have this experience with pain, because I just loved working out, and that's what I spent my time doing. I didn't try to do like a creative outlet or anything. I didn't want to spend the time on it, but then I was forced to do that. And it's become something that's really been, beneficial for me, and just something that I enjoy. So I worked on that, and I kept doing that. And then the same people that I did my boot camp with in New York, reached out, and they said, hey, we have an opportunity for you if you're interested, in Las Vegas. There's a company that's, looking for, reporter anchor to work remotely in Las Vegas that broadcasts to Wyoming and Alaska. And I was like, oh, I don't really think I'm interested anymore, but I will talk to them and see. Yeah. And it ended up being something that they were willing to work with me so that I could continue teaching and that I could do that part time. And so I am working in the news now. I'm anchoring, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Alaska. So I work Monday through Friday after my teaching job. Wow. And it's really fun. Yeah, I'm really bad at it. But it's fun, and I'm learning, and I'm trying to see how I can get better. But yeah, I have supportive family that are like really excited for me, and I send them my clips, my blooper clips, and laugh, and they're like, "You're doing great."
Where do you film? Where does the filming happen?
There's a studio in downtown Las Vegas, and so it's kind of cool situation. We work with a company called Newsnet, and they're in Michigan. So they produce our segments in Michigan, and then it's shown or broadcast in Alaska and Cheyenne, where the company owns the stations. So yeah, I mean,
that's wild.
It sounds like it came out because of COVID, because work from home, but they've been doing it like this for a little bit, like before COVID started.
It's just been going all over my head with all these career opportunities you've had. So, like, how many professions do you have? I mean,
I would technically say I'm not professional at any.
We were asking for our friends at the IRS.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's that was the thing when I was in college. It was like I wanted a really good balance in my life, and I knew that I didn't have a good balance in college because I put so much pressure on myself, and I was doing things that I didn't really love. And now I'm doing things that I love. And yeah, it might sound like a lot, but I love it, and that's where I wanted to get to. Like, and if I have to put off my blog, it's okay, because it's my thing, and I don't have someone pressuring me to do that. And my anchoring position, they're very supportive of my teaching job. So that's like my number one. Awesome. I teach number one. That's my full time. I'm able to do it all, and I probably don't do it all well, but I enjoy what I do. So it's fun. It's a good balance.
Yeah. Well, I want to know, you went to all these like training camps and stuff you talked to up in New York. Is there anything that can truly prepare you 100% for your first day on the air?
Gosh, I don't know if you guys have heard of this thing called a Whoop. Have you heard of a Whoop?
No.
It's like a fitness tracker. So it
like a Fitbit.
Kind of.
No.
Yeah.
Fitbit sponsors us.
Oh, cool.
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
we don't have a sponsor.
But what it does, it tracks like your body stats. Oh, that's a good sponsor too.
Okay. Sorry.
But it tracks.
What is it? What is it called?
It's called a Whoop. WHOOP. Okay. I have a blog about it. I wrote about it, but
I think I did see that.
Yeah, anyway, so the Whoop.
It tracks your recovery. So every morning you wake up, and it will give you like a number, like a percentage, 1 or 0 through 100 of how recovered and how basically how ready your body is that day. I woke up my first day of anchoring 11%. I never wake up that low. I was so nervous. So
11's terrible.
11's bad. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you want to be base is 66%. And on your good days, you get into the 90s, but it was I was so stressed. And I remember just being yeah, that makes sense. I'm nervous, but it's with anything you start new.
What is it measuring?
It's measuring a few things. It measures your heart rate. It measures your heart rate variability. It measures how much stress you have by that HRV. It's like your vagus nerve. Not Vegas, Las Vegas, VAGUS, your vagus nerve.
Mm-hmm.
And, it measures how much sleep you've had and how much sleep you need. So it kind of it's a huge algorithm, your respiratory rate. It's pretty interesting. Yeah.
If I would have been on my game, I would have come up with a good joke for that Vegas thing. I just let that slip on by.
He's slipping.
Well, I was too busy thinking I wonder if she's got a promotion code just like the Peloton.
I do.
She's working for Whoop too. See, that's another job. Write that down. Tell the IRS, Adam.
No, but I really love it. It helped me so much when I was recovering, because I didn't want to be in pain again ever. So my Whoop kind of helps me balance. It does. It's okay, you don't need to do any more workouts. You're good for where your body is right now.
So no more workouts. Laughing. You got the Whoop stop.
Yes. Whoop stop. I'm telling you, it works.
Well, I'm sure it does. We are making fun of it, but
Everybody makes fun of it. It's okay, but it helps me.
exactly. As long as if you're getting
It's
the
a
results
tool.
you want from it,
Yeah.
exactly.
I love it. It's so anyways, it was a rough day, but it was fine. And the first day anchoring. Yeah.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's
I
where
got lost in the
went
whoop.
with that. Yeah.
Okay. So your first day on air.
Mhm. Yep. I was super nervous. Yeah, we had practiced. I went to Wyoming for training, and I just was thinking like, oh man, who's going to be watching this? This is crazy, but it was fine. And I think people were telling me like, I just look stiff because you watch TV and you see the reporters, they don't move, the anchors. So I just like was super stiff. And I still don't know what I'm doing, but I feel more comfortable.
Do you know what the viewership is like for those, or do you not want to know?
Well, when I first talked to them about the job, he told me, actually have the numbers. I think he said 600,000 in Alaska and 300,000 in Wyoming.
Oh, so just
Like,
a million
that's it?
people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Just a million.
I think, I don't know for sure. I'll have to double check,
Dang.
but yeah, but it's also local news. I don't know how many people are really watching. I don't know.
So you go from doing that to coming on this show.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm
Viewership
nervous.
is
I'm
in the
nervous for
double
this
digits.
too.
The bottom dropped.
I feel like it's always a hard position to share yourself. So like when I'm doing the anchoring, it's like, I'm just reading. This is like, oh, this is Ashleigh.
Yeah.
This is me. This is like a little bit more vulnerable, but like
This
I
is
said,
fun, Ashleigh.
yeah, that's true. I can be, but I like to share my backstory. So my back surgery story. So
That's really important. So Ashleigh, we have a little surprise for you. It's not money or a gift. Sorry. Just see how excited she was for a second.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, really?"
It's like we're giving you a lifetime supply of whoops.
yes, I love
The
it.
song.
It'll be the best. Hey, I'll take it.
Well, Ashleigh, we have a promo code. No. Just mention this podcast. So we didn't send you any of these ahead of time, but sometimes we like to end with some like speed round questions or like fill in the blank type of questions where you just like say the first thing you think of.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that with you. Does that sound good?
That sounds great, but I feel bad because I'm really bad at these.
You'll do fine.
Okay.
You ready?
Oh, that's even better.
I don't know if I am, but yes.
So the best thing about being a teacher is blank.
I actually love seeing what my students do after they graduate. I love watching them on social media. I don't keep in touch with all of them, but some of them I do, and just kind of, especially since I teach business electives, if they end up in a business career, it's pretty fun to watch that and to see.
Cool. All right. And so the worst thing about being a teacher is blank.
Oh my gosh, I got a pet peeve here. My pet peeve is this for a grade? Like, yes, everything's for a grade. Okay, yes, don't ask me that. Does this count? Do I really have to do it? Like, ugh, I hate getting that question.
I'm sure no other teachers hear that. Okay, the best thing about having an artificial disc is?
Nothing compares to feeling like your back is stable again. Right when I woke up, I felt stable. And it was like, before I went in for my surgery, I would always have to adjust my how I was sitting. So just being stable. I know that sounds weird.
And the worst thing about having an artificial disc is?
Knowing there's something weird in my body that's like implanted.
Being part Terminator.
Yes. Like I try not to think about it, but I do sometimes think like, oh, I have in the x-rays, it looks like a legit Oreo. Ooh. It's so, my sister was like, that looks like an Oreo. I'm like, it does.
The best thing about being a TV anchor TV news anchor is blank.
I love getting dressed up. Like I knew I had to have a job where I would have to get dressed up every day. So I do enjoy that part. It's kind of like exhausting having to get dressed every day, but I like to, that's why I have my fashion blog. I love to get dressed and try to look nice.
Alrighty. And the worst thing about being a TV news anchor is blank.
Pronunciation. I did the Alaska weather and like there were calls. They were like, you're saying this wrong. You're saying this wrong. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. So anyway, pronunciations. Yeah.
Yeah. The best thing about being on this podcast is
meeting you guys.
So sweet. Okay, stop. That's good.
Jack's in the mail.
No, yeah, I am excited. Like I was flattered that you would want to talk to me. So yeah.
And the worst thing about being on this, wait, never mind. There's no answer to that one, right?
No, we don't need to answer that one.
Okay, forget it.
No. No bad things. Yep, I love it.
Well, Ashleigh, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We'll have a link to all the stuff we talked about today in the show description. But it has been a pleasure and a super fun time.
It has been
Likewise.
so much fun.
Thank you guys so much. I love it. Thanks for listening to me.
Yeah.
And being interested.
Well, we'll catch you later, all right?
All right.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Here it comes, man. When this thing airs, it'll be our big break. We actually got to interview a news anchor with just shy of 1 million viewerships. I will say, though, she was super fun to talk to, and I'm really jealous she got to work at ABC Studios. I mean, who knows? She may be the ABC 6 o'clock national news anchor a few years from now.
She might be.
On TV.
Yeah. And we'll be in the background with an executive producer credits. But yeah, it's been really cool meeting all these people and hearing about their lives. I was really impressed with her ambition to get her back trouble straightened out. I mean, that was a long, hard road.
Straightened out.
I hear you. But when she described how she decided to dream big when trying to figure out what to do in life, I mean, I think we could all learn something from that attitude. Especially
you.
Yeah, especially me, Adam.
All right, man. Well, you think that's it for today?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I got to go get my bloop and count some cups of coffee.
Alrighty, well, that was The Inside. Again, Ashleigh's blog is ashleighdeane.com. Her magazine article is in D Magazine, and the link for both of those is in the show notes right below where you're listening. Special thanks to our guest today, Ashleigh, and our producer, Dave. The show is written, recorded, edited, and co-produced by Jay and myself. Our title music, Crossroads, was written by Rock Sounds, and we'll have a link in the show description. Our title music was performed by Keith Richards. Do you know someone you think should be on The Inside? Send us an email with some suggestions. We will have more episodes coming soon, so make sure to listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at The Inside Podcasters, or shoot us an email at theinsidepodcasters@gmail.com.
We're waiting.
The bloop is a real thing.
What?
It's an ultra low frequency discovered that was heard in 1997 by NOAA, and then no one knows where it came from, and it has not happened since.
Of course it is. And you know what? How you can track that? With your bloop.
Yeah. You'll just have to get ready the day after this goes out. There's probably going to be some photographers at your door.
Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty much.
A limo, the president.
Standard. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Adam, she's on TV, okay? This is not that big a deal.
Yes, it is. There's got to be something good that comes out of all that pain. Now looking back, I realize I pursued things that I wouldn't have pursued had I just not had this pain experience.